This is college football at its absolute best.
Yeah, they had us the first half, I'm not going to lie.
Oh, could be Wayne.
I think I got my swagger back. Oh.
I love it, baby.
Them orange britches. Something about them orange britches.
Tennessee wins! By Tennessee, Jawan Jennings. Jennings makes the catch.
Ball hit high in the air into right field. Going back to Sayre. And Tennessee can say hello win column. A grand slam in the bottom of the ninth. You can't draw it up any better.
We just won a basketball game, and we're very happy right now. McGrath for the win. He got it. If you don't like college football and you watch this one, I'm not sure what your problem is.
Reddit did to do, and welcome into More Important Issues. It is Sunday, November 24th. And Landon, the Tennessee Volunteers are back in playoff contention.
What do you know?
Just as I thought I was done, I thought I was out. They bring me right back in. Shout out to a 12-team playoff for providing the Volunteers this opportunity, and also just the mayhem that is college football this year. It has been fun. It has been heartbreaking for every fan base, pretty much. Easy for some because we don't get into that, but I'm sure we will. But not right now. Yeah, it's. I think overall, right now, we're going to be able to say the 12. Let me, I guess, put this out here. I think the 12-team playoff will come with plenty of underwhelming games. I think there'll be some blowouts. I think there'll be some not so good football games. But I think when you look over a 12-game season, I think we're going to think the 12-team playoff is the best, one of the better formats for college football. Keeping these teams in it, keeping teams that really don't have much to play for can go out and beat teams and take away something from them. So I think there's potential for this to be better for the sport. Now, definitely some kinks to work out, but.
Yeah, it's funny. Maybe 2 days ago, we're thinking, oh, the 12-team college football playoff sucks. Like, I hate it. And now we're here and we're saying it might be perfect. Who knows? I guess we'll just have to wait and see kind of how it figures itself out. But even with the 4-team playoff, it kind of like there was no, besides like the Florida State thing, there was no huge debate on the 4 teams, really.
Not a huge debate, but that's the thing people are missing. I mean, you're looking at the year before, everyone's going, well, TCU shouldn't have been in it. They didn't deserve it. Well, they also did win their first round game.
Yeah.
And then you have some of that every year. The Cincinnati debate, should Cincinnati have gotten in or not? Like, it's existed and it's going to continue to exist. And I don't have a problem with the playoff itself. It's the rankings really don't make a ton of sense, which I think I've been fairly impartial to it and said it's kind of hard. Like this week, going into this week was difficult. Just in the 4 SEC teams, every single one of them beat the other. Every single one of them had a bad loss, whether it be a blowout loss like Georgia did at Ole Miss, or Alabama at Vanderbilt, Tennessee at Arkansas, Ole Miss at home versus Kentucky. Like there was no. Because of the head-to-head circle there was no clear cut. Who do you put in front? Like the playoff wanted to pretend there was. So, I mean, thankfully it's all worked itself out so far this year. And I do think in the next few years, and they'll want to expand more money, they've got to find a way to structure the regular season better to better seed the playoff. But that's a whole nother thing.
Yeah, but right now Tennessee's sitting in a good position. You know, we'll see kind of where the committee has them on Tuesday night. I gotta think they're around that 8-9 range, probably, I would say. I know the AP has us at 7, but we'll probably be at 7, but based on seeding, we'll probably be that 8-9 game, whatever it is. So
I think it would be
championship week.
It'd be pretty weird though if.
Go ahead.
I need to look at the AP because
I think Tennessee's right on the
First one
cusp of
Miami.
hosting a playoff game. And we're talking about hopefully just getting into the playoffs, Saturday before the game. And now here we are. We could host again.
right. Yeah, the AP already had Miami behind Tennessee. So I think Tennessee probably falls. Is that number 8 then in the college football playoff on Tuesday? I think it'll just everybody will move up. Well, hold on. Let me say this.
Well, then you have the Pac-12 champion that will be thrown in there as well.
Yeah, I'm
correct?
just talking about the actual rankings that come out Wednesday or Tuesday. I will say this because you all heard me. Quit complaining about Indiana. Complain about the other two that have coasted by with a loss. My fraudulent Irish. They should jump Penn State and Texas this week.
Penn State is a fraud. I mean, they could have lost that game yesterday. They're a fraud. The fact that they didn't even move any is crazy.
I'm just in terms of if you want to establish who looks better recently, if you want to establish the better win, quote unquote. Well, the college football playoff had Army at number 19. Notre Dame absolutely took it to them. Whether they should have or not doesn't matter. That's where you had Army at. Texas narrowly escapes. And I know that game wasn't really close, but when you look at the scoreboard, like it wasn't a blowout. It wasn't. They just took care of business. But
Also,
they also
could have lost their quarterback.
Yeah, they don't have a good win.
I saw Florida
anywhere else.
State's their fan base going at it on Twitter about, hey, if Ewers is out, they have to be out. No questions asked.
But yeah, I think if you're going to follow the precedent you've set this year, I can't keep up with all the precedents you've set in previous years. Notre Dame has to be number 3.
Yeah. They won't, but they
won't. And that's where it's just it's going to be week by week. How can we let's rank our teams, Landon, and then how can we justify those rankings? Even if it puts us in a pretzel, like we'll justify. Don't worry, just rank your team. Pick your team. Pick your favorite if you want, your favorite color if you want. It's like picking it's like picking March Madness. Like just don't think about it. Look at them. Oh, Penn State at 4? Okay. Perfect. Yeah, you did it. Good job. It makes no sense.
I think it's a recency thing. Like past games, you just look at like, oh, they only lost to Ohio State by 7 points. Well, it wasn't even close. Ohio State just bled the clock the entire drive. Could have scored again, but didn't.
I think there's recency to it for sure, but I also think there's a human element of I want to be right about this team, and it's why Texas and Penn State won't be jumped by Notre Dame, because if it's just recency, then Notre Dame has to jump them. But I think there's also this human element of, no, we're right about Texas and Penn State. See, they keep winning. But if we're going off the teams that have played the best the last few weeks, like they've talked about Alabama, like they've talked about Ole Miss beating Georgia, then Notre Dame has to jump them. That's the precedent.
Yeah. It's crazy because we're every week we rank these teams, and every week, as you've seen in college football, it could be a totally different team.
Yeah.
Like I think what Oklahoma did to Alabama, who saw that coming?
Yeah, me. I'm a ball knower. I called it.
Yeah, well, correct. Yeah. I mean, no one that was probably in the parlay just to have, but
I wasn't going to watch that game. I was not going to watch that game. They went up 10-3, and I went to multi-view. Had the Auburn A&M game on. I went to multi-view.
Jackson Arnold, who knew? Tennessee's defense might be pretty good. I don't know. Just throwing that out there.
Let's wait until another game. I told you that was fun. Saturday was fun. We're going to talk about that. It's not going to fully – this Saturday has potential to fully rinse that bad taste out of my mouth.
Correct.
Last Saturday is still there because of the most previous Saturday.
And we are not going because we have too much respect. And
for ourselves.
Correct.
And because we want to go to a playoff.
Yeah, like we're not going to be the cause of it.
No.
If we don't make it.
No.
This is truly on Tennessee's team. It's no longer, Caleb and Landon's fault. This is truly on Tennessee to take care of business this Saturday against Little Brother.
And all you people, I don't care if you bought tickets 6 months ago. If you've been to recent away losses, so if you've been to Arkansas, if you've also been to Florida, but even if you've just been to Florida, if you went to South Carolina, I'm not telling you not to go, but I do want you to take a look in the mirror. And I want you to say, is it me? That's what I had to do. It was tough. It's not a fun morning to wake up after a loss, reeking of booze, and having to say to yourself, is it my fault? What can I do better? That's what I need you to do. And if you decide, hey, it's not my fault, go to the game, that's fine by me. All I ask is that you do it. You look in the mirror and you say, is it my fault? You come to that conclusion. And
if there's any hesitation, it's probably
sell the ticket.
Yeah.
You'll make some money. This is a playoff team. This is Vanderbilt trying to wrap up a pretty impressive season. They want to beat, obviously, their in-state rival, and they want to keep up that. That's what's going to make this game fun. Rivalries always have a little extra juice. Add in on top, there are going to be rivals trying to keep their rival out of a college football playoff. Georgia Tech's going to try to keep Georgia out of a college football playoff. Vanderbilt's going to try to keep Tennessee out of a college football playoff. Texas A&M. I mean, at this point, they can't keep Texas out of a college football playoff, but that is on the table.
Yeah, Monty has a question here. Has there been a scarier Vandy team in history with all that's on the line and a decent Vandy team on the road? And a decent Vandy with all that's on the line. I mean, I think because they've had a decent year, I don't think anybody's just like, oh, it's
Vandy.
Vanderbilt. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think they're just chalking it up as a win.
Right.
And I do think Tennessee's fan base, I don't know if the team thinks of this or not, but the fan base has been in this position before. So we know exactly what can happen. So I don't think anybody's taking this game for granted. I doubt the team is too, but the fact that Vanderbilt was able to knock off Alabama, I think that's got your attention a little bit.
I mean, sure. And they've played with everyone. I mean, even in a normal year where LSU's not a great football team, they're still traditionally blow Vanderbilt out, and that wasn't the case. That was a 7-point ball game. I didn't watch any of it, so I don't know how it came. They played with Texas. Yeah, I mean, this is a good Vanderbilt team. As much as that pains me to say, they can definitely create a lot of havoc for you. I don't know if this is the scariest Vanderbilt team, but when you combine this Vanderbilt team, like what Monty was saying, with the situation, with what is at stake, yeah, it's not a fun one to think about what could go wrong. But silver lining, you do have the college football playoff within grasp. You win, you're in.
That's it.
Win, you're in.
You control your own destiny. You don't need any help. You control your own destiny. You got your help this past week. I don't know if you can expect any more help than you got.
I'm at this point. This goes for every 3-loss team. If you lose 3, if there are not enough 2-loss teams to make a 12-team playoff, those teams get buys. You don't get to play in a college football playoff with 3 losses. Unacceptable. Yeah. Doesn't get to happen.
Yeah, our friend Trey, he was he went to Cool Beans with us yesterday, and I texted him after the Ole Miss game. I was like, I'm sorry, man. He's like, it's okay. He's like, you don't lose to Florida and Kentucky and deserve to be in the college football playoffs. So
he's right. He's absolutely right. I mean, I still hate it for him.
Yeah.
But he is right about that.
Right. All right, you want to talk some UTEP real quick?
Let's do that. You know my take on this, Landon. It wasn't gonna rain. I'll look at that and I'm like, yeah, 56-0. That was fun, cool, love it, very relaxing day. But I'm also like, in the areas Tennessee didn't play good to start the first quarter. I'm also not gonna freak out about that.
Yeah, you can't. I mean, especially with all that's kind of went on. There was a bunch of big matchups yesterday, and here you are taking on UTEP at 1 o'clock. Like that's not an easy game to get up for. It is senior day, so I wonder if Tennessee does have a lot of seniors. I wonder if that had anything
I
to
think
do
this
with it.
team just starts slow.
Yeah.
I don't think that. I think we know this team, but I'm just if you can't give Tennessee the credit for shutting a team out and winning 56-0, you can't also dog them for starting slow. Yeah, it's just what this team does, and I think we just need to kind of accept that. Like they've done it against every team. They've done it against top 10 teams. They've done it against UTEP. Like it's just who they are, and guys, it's probably not going to change at this point.
And the good thing about it is Tennessee hasn't, besides Arkansas, they haven't played a couple bad quarters in a game and lost one because of it.
Well, Georgia.
Well,
the one game they did start fast.
Yeah, but
let's just remember that though, Landon. That's the one game we've started fast this year, and
it didn't work out too well.
Didn't work out. So like, I don't know. Just don't do it. I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know what to tell you.
But big second quarter, kind of everybody was a little. I wouldn't say they're just like, okay, what's going on here? What's Glenn Ellerby and I saw the people like get him out. Glenn Ellerby and Joey Halsley were on the hot seat during that first quarter. And UTEP came out and they emptied the playbook on offense.
That's Scotty Walden's specialty. Austin P did it too.
Crazy.
And I'll give him his credit, man. I guess he just loves his guys. Like, I mean, guys are jumping off sides. They're doing dumb stuff, and they come over to the sideline, and he's still just nutso. Like, he is batshit insane.
Mm-hmm.
Lay off the cocaine, brother. It's getting out of hand.
But with all the motions and everything, like, I honestly feel like that's not a bad opponent to play in a spot like this where they're throwing a ton at you with motions and, making sure you're staying home. Like, it is kind of you better stay focused or you could give up a big one.
Yeah, you don't want that team that throws everything in the kitchen sink at you to also be competent and good. So it's good that it was a team that did that, but also sucked. That was nice. It was a good combination. You're absolutely right.
Yeah. Nico got going after that first quarter. Was pretty flawless after that. I thought he ran the ball well. I thought he threw it well. Other than that miss to kind of open the game, I thought he settled down and used the middle of the field. I like how we used Dylan Sampson out of the backfield a little bit with, that arrow route was a cool wrinkle to include in there. I thought getting Brew and Squirrel in the end zone was big for them on senior day. Because that was the first.
That was the first
touchdown. Brew,
yeah. First cookies of the year.
There you go. And I thought you ran the ball effectively. Again, it's UTEP. You should. But I really like what Tennessee has in those young running backs. I think they're only getting better with Cam Seldon and Peyton Lewis. Hopefully, you're able to get Deshaun Bishop back at some point. But I think it's good to kind of get those. He played a lot of guys yesterday. Mike Matthews caught a pass. That was big.
Yeah.
Braylon Staley caught a pass. Mike Matthews should have had probably 2 touchdowns, but
yeah, I think everybody with TE in there on their roster got to touch the ball.
Yeah,
we got everyone involved there. Mm-hmm. You mentioned Cam Seldon. It was good to see. He's struggled when he's gotten his opportunities and hadn't gotten a lot of them. So it's good to see him. I know it's UTEP, but these guys got to get going at some point to get any kind of confidence. And he's going to be asked to do more, assuming Deshaun Bishop's still going to be out next week. So it was good to see him just get rolling a little bit. Like I think it's clear that he's the number 4 back on this team right now when Deshaun Bishop's healthy, but I also think you're going to need him at the minimum next year, but probably next week too. So I mean, got to get him going, and that was positive.
He looked capable, and he flat out ran over somebody, which was awesome to see. That little kid a couple years ago. I just want to see somebody get run over. You got to see that with Cam Seldon Saturday. And
Scotty Walden was jumping around as his guy came off the sideline. He loved it. He said, you made contact. We like that. Yeah. It's like when I hit a slice. My brother's like, I mean, you make good contact.
Yeah, you hit it a mile right, but yeah. Yeah, y'all say like all my friends say that a lot. Well, that was good contact. Well, yeah. I mean, I lost the ball. It's gone forever. But appreciate it. I love the positive. There is playing with you guys and knowing how bad I suck and how hard I am on myself, just having you guys just to pick me up and saying that was good contact, it helps me. So I appreciate that.
That's what Scotty Walden's there for too.
Yeah.
Like we're going 2-9, but we're giving out a lot of. What coach was it that was like, well, I want to see how many high fives and pats on the butt we're giving out.
Mm-hmm.
That's what Scotty Walden does.
Yeah. Also, Nico keeping it on a read option. Who's this?
Don't dog him. I wasn't the very first time, but it's one of the three.
It felt like it.
Every time he runs the ball, it feels like the first time, to be fair.
That's true. But yeah, I thought he ran the ball effectively and didn't put it in harm's way other than that first pass where he probably a touchdown to Squirrel White and threw it behind him, almost an interception. But other than that, I thought he looked really good, 4 touchdowns, and just kind of took what the defense gave him. There was no huge plays in this game other than
we still can't just
Luke Carter
rip off massive ones. It's weird.
You
mentioned
that one to Brew McCoy in the back of the end zone. Like that is a tough.
37. I was like, or no, sorry, it was only 18. It was a tough throw. I was trying to figure out how long it was. Yeah,
that's one I feel like he is overthrown a lot, where the guy's so wide open, you kind of have a short field to not just let it fly. So good on him to kind of ease that one in there and let Brew have an easy touchdown for the first one of the season.
Sure. Yeah. No.
And Ethan Davis. I mean,
yeah,
I understand
get him in there.
I understand he's probably not a great blocker, but he's really good receiving. I think you have to find ways to get him more involved.
Yeah, I hope this week starts we're opening up a lot in the offense. You have so many athletes. I just feel like there should be a lot of different looks. Ethan Davis being one guy that's participating in those different looks. And listen, right now it's true what coaches say. It's finally true, Lane, and you're in that point of the season. It's like just one game. Right now, You just have one game. Throw it all out there. See what sticks.
And without the big plays, something that's really helped the offense is Boo Carter.
Yeah.
Giving them a short field. I think Mississippi State, Georgia, and then UTEP, he has set up 5 or 6 scoring drives just with having a short field and a big return. So you're not getting a ton of big plays in the offense, but, Boo Carter's doing his best to kind of help them get going and take a little pressure off of them driving the football the length of the field.
Yeah, it's good to have a threat back there. And he'll take one back eventually. It's going to happen.
That one was fun. I also thought it was coming back, but I'm glad it was on. I forget what it was on. Like there's 2 fouls on the kicking team.
Well, I thought we might have, because it flashed back. I think it was this play. I don't think we can rush a kick without hitting the punter. I don't think it's possible. Was it that play that we rushed? Because I know sometimes we don't. Oftentimes we don't.
Yeah, I don't know if it was.
I thought maybe we ran into the kicker.
Oh, okay.
I thought it was going to be running into, not roughing. I think it was that one, and it ended up being. I don't remember what it was. Yeah.
I love when UTEP defender ran into Jackson Ross and he knew it immediately and just had a panic attack. He knew Scotty Walden on the sideline was about to rip.
Scotty loved that. He loved it. He's like, I love contact. That was good contact.
Yeah, helmet right in the chest. I love that. Hey, before we get into defense, how many tackles for loss do you think Tennessee has without looking? Do you know already?
Golly, especially with all the stuff they did. That's one thing for teams like that. I get it. You got to be creative, but giving your guys the ball running parallel or backwards is just a recipe for disaster.
Yeah.
12 minimum.
It didn't honestly, I was asking at the game because I was like, man, it just doesn't seem like a ton, but I'm interested because we have gotten a couple sacks. Tennessee had 15 tackles for loss.
Yeah, that, like I said, minimum of 12. They weren't big tackles for a loss because it was on end arounds and sweeps and jet motions with screen passes or something. Like, it was on stuff that I get you have to try to be creative and confuse the defense, but also don't give. It's like, it's the shotgun argument. I don't think necessarily lining up in shotgun from the 1 yard line is the worst thing in the world, especially when that's what you do. That's how you run the football. But at the same time, if you can go under center, like, you'd rather have that guy running downhill. Giving the ball to a guy running parallel against this defensive line just doesn't help him.
Yeah, Tennessee's too athletic and too fast to be doing a ton of motions and that's. And
When
UTEP
you're
doesn't have the guys to run by them.
When you're UTEP's level, that is not remain.
Yeah,
the
when
same
you can't
for
block
everyone.
up front, and then you don't have the guys that just run past defenders. No.
Yeah. You mentioned interceptions earlier, and I wanted to ask you, what was the coaching staff thinking? What was, I don't know who calls plays for them. What was JP Pickles, which is not a real name. What was he thinking throwing it to one-on-one coverage? Was that their first pass of the game?
Oh, I don't know. Was it?
No. Sorry, no. They just had incomplete passes before then. Right? No. Because those big plays.
Locklear threw the interception, right?
Oh, it was Locklear. Yeah. It was Locklear. Number 9, number 19. What were they thinking throwing it to one-on-one coverage with Jamal McCoy? That's the one place you don't throw it.
No, this was planned.
They attacked him. They saw a weakness.
He only had 5 interceptions and 9 touchdowns up to this point, so he wanted to get 6 interceptions and 9 touchdowns. So makes sense.
Okay.
And he was like, "Who's the best player I can throw to one-on-one?" Jamal McCoy. I'm in. Yeah, he's a dog, man. That was such a good pickup. And something I kind of noticed, I was looking at his stats today, almost identical stats of what he did his freshman year at Oregon State.
Oh, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah. Still got a game left, though.
Hey.
Get another pick.
Few more.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah. But one regular season. I don't know. Yesterday was fun. It
was fun.
The first quarter wasn't very fun, but
right.
It did get fun after that. Tennessee took care of business, played a lot of guys, got out of there with, I don't think, any significant injuries. So I think you take that every day of the week.
That your main takeaway from this game as a Tennessee fan, if you're hitting panic button about anything you saw, or if you're hitting we're back button about anything you saw in Neyland Stadium on Saturday, like you're crazy. Just take away that it was a fun day in Neyland. That's it. You need some of those against UTEP. You need that. That's all you need is fun, and it was fun. Well, I'll say that I am going to hit the panic eject button here. Danny White. Go ahead and clip this so we can send this over to our good friend Danny, Joey. Danny White. We apparently have cameras that can see who's throwing trash on the field, who's like apparently we just have Big Brother everywhere. I don't know how it works. Use those cameras, and if anyone gator chomped, or if they even started to gator chomp in the fourth quarter, they're ejected for life. They're never welcome back. Go to the swamp for all I care. That's more despicable than the Vandy chant, because that was only like 4 people. I mean, they were showing sections of people gator chomping. What the hell are you thinking?
Yeah, I had a lot of people argue with me on Twitter that it wasn't a big deal.
Because they're soft.
And I'm old, which I am getting old. I will say that. But I was just, I guess we were raised a little different, Caleb. I don't know what it is.
Well, the old thing's a dumb argument because all the young people say Florida's our biggest rival. You don't celebrate anything about your biggest rival ever. Nothing. Yeah. Again, you can be happy. It helped us get into the college football playoff. Turns out we didn't even need that one. You gator chomp for no reason, you fools. You can be happy. You can go, hey, they won. Helped us out. Cool. That's the end of how happy you should be. Yeah, we still have to win too.
Yeah, a lot of people were like, "Oh, it was trolling Lane Kiffin." Guys, if you hate Lane Kiffin,
Those people were begging for Lane Kiffin a few years ago. No, it wasn't. They're lying to themselves.
If you hate Lane Kiffin more than you hate Florida's football program, there's something wrong with you.
That too. There is a perfect circle of Lane Kiffin wanters, for lack of a better word, and Tennessee fan Gator chompers. That is, they all exist in the same. They are the same people.
Yeah.
They love Lane Kiffin. They love his tweets, and they're Gator chomping in Neyland. Wearing
you can
the
say
right
he
orange.
screwed this program, but I assure you, Florida's football program has tried to screw Tennessee a lot more than Lane Kiffin ever has. So.
Yeah.
I was more in shock that they did it. That we got some help from Florida. That was I didn't want a Gator chomp, and I never will. I'll never say
I don't mind the ironic doing it, the trolling them when we won. I don't mind it. I didn't participate in it. I won't be doing it. But that one, okay, whatever. I thought it was too early, but I was fine with it. This was unacceptable. This was celebrating a Florida win.
Which is crazy.
And listen, we can be friends. We can remain friends. But you're an idiot if you did that. And I do think you should never be allowed back in Neyland Stadium.
I agree.
Or we should charge them double for their tickets next time.
Yes.
They should get everyone who didn't Gator Chomp, they should get their 10% talent fee.
And the little kid who is Gator chomping, his parents should never be allowed. It's not necessarily his fault.
He didn't learn. Yeah,
that's terrible parenting. Learn. So we should call is DCS?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we should call them.
Already did, brother.
Reported.
Yeah, that was a despicable act, and for it to happen twice in one season, Landon, is insanity. We've lost our way. This is how you know when people want to go, they want to complain and say we're still not back, and I'm not saying we are. Like, we're still not the Tennessee of old. I don't know, man. We're getting too comfortable with where we're at. Like, we're enjoying it. We're having too much fun to the point that we don't hate people appropriately. I need that fire and brimstone Tennessee fans.
Yeah, you know who does stuff like this? Volcats.
Volcats do.
Yeah.
I don't want casual.
And are those Tennessee people that were chanting Vandy?
No.
Is that real?
Probably. I know there was talks about it happening this week.
Oh, no.
Well, that'll change the mood. I blame everyone that Gator chomped. He saw that. I don't blame him.
Yikes. I haven't seen it. Have you seen it?
I think it's just being talked about right now. Okay. So there are. Monty said David Sanders decommitted from Tennessee. I haven't seen that officially. He was on a visit to Ohio State this weekend. They obviously beat Indiana. And it looks like maybe people are expecting it to happen. I don't know if that's coming from insiders or if that's just speculation on what came of this weekend. That I haven't seen yet. But I haven't seen anything official. Have you?
No, and I mean, David Sanders did not tweet it, so I don't know where that's.
Yeah, Monty, is that official or is that? Are we just missing it?
Yeah, I haven't seen that. Give me a little pause, Monty. Yeah, you're killing the mood a little bit. We're supposed to be in a good mood. I mean, yeah, I guess we can talk about that for a second. So he did go up to the Ohio State game, and I don't know. I mean, it's just recruiting. I mean, if we're going to try to sit here and try to pick apart what a 17-year-old does. I mean, I would want to go on visits, whatever. Here's the thing. If he's been committed that long and you can't close and you're in the college football playoff, that has a lot to do with, I would say, NIL.
I was going to say the rumors, the NIL, and it's apparently just language in the NIL contract. So I don't know if it's not guaranteed money. But that's the rumor.
Yeah. But also, you're winning football games, and sorry, Glenn Ellerby, but you got to close on some of these guys. That would be what, 3 5-stars in a row you haven't been able to close on that you've kind of had in your grasps.
Yeah,
Jordan Seaton, Francis Maligoa, and David Sanders. That would not be good.
It'd be pretty upsetting.
I mean, that's one of the reasons, a lot of people aren't calling for your job because you have a 5-star coming in. People are not happy with Glenn Ellerby, and I understand why. So let's go ahead and lock that one down. You need this one.
Yeah. Yeah, this would be a very upsetting turn of events to what has been a fun weekend as a Tennessee fan.
Right.
Unfortunately, not so much.
Yeah, we got all the momentum. It ain't going anywhere.
Well, okay. I don't know where you want to start there. We were pretty upset at some people, and then now we're just kind of sad.
I did want to mention another guy who impressed me, Jackson Ross.
Okay.
I thought he looked really good punting for Tennessee. I know, in a UTEP game, you don't want to punt a whole lot, but I think he was a big reason why. Well, and Tennessee's defense is good, but he's a big reason why you kept 0 on the board.
Sure, lots of flipping the field.
Mm-hmm.
Pinned him inside the 23 times.
And with Tennessee's offensive struggle is having special teams really come along for Tennessee, and Max Gilbert, Jackson Ross, and Boo Carter. That's been super helpful and probably saved Tennessee I would say at least a win or two.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Got a couple questions. You want to go ahead and get to those since these are about kind of college football?
Yeah, let's do that.
If we do not get a home playoff game, where is an ideal place to play?
What's left of the groups? I don't know if there's an ideal.
Yeah. I mean, a place that every place is going to be tough, I would assume. I got to think Tennessee's ranked ahead of Indiana, but I guess if you're thinking of what's the places that I don't really want to play a night game at Penn State.
I don't care.
Yeah.
Honestly, Tennessee seems to not really be.
Is it Notre Dame?
Any time of day. So
yeah, right.
Notre Dame, Penn State at noon. The best place in America at noon. Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Okay. I wouldn't want to play at Texas necessarily, but sure, give me Texas.
What about Georgia? I saw that today. Projection.
Run it back. It's hard to beat the same team twice. I don't know. Just let's find out. Yeah,
this time we'll score hopefully 31 in the first quarter, and it'll be good.
I think now with all the teams that look like they're going to be left in it, I think it's kind of not that there aren't better places necessarily than the others, but I think it's all kind of the same if you travel. Right. So, 6-1, half a dozen the other, I reckon. I don't know if there's one I prefer. Are they going to try and seed conference foes from conference foes? Will they try to not have first round conference matchups if they can? Have they talked about that? I don't know.
I would think so.
I would think so too. I would think there's a chance Tennessee could be, for example, a 12 seed if Georgia was the 5. And that's the only SEC matchup in the first round. So then they would say, all right, well, we'll put Tennessee at 11 and Indiana at 12 or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, especially Georgia and Tennessee, if it was at Georgia,
played.
You just saw that.
Yeah.
Like,
and I would think, obviously, I think there's going to be years where that's
on a neutral
unavoidable.
side, like in the quarterfinals, it's probably different because you can't really expect those matchups or account for that.
I think they'll try their best to avoid them. But like you said, there's going to be times they play in the first round. There's going to be some time in the 12-team playoff. There's a rematch from the regular season. But I think they'll try to avoid it.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't know what this committee is going to do any day. I guess they're all just sitting in hotel rooms right now watching their iPads.
They have no clue what they're going to do either.
They are petulant children. They are like, hey, their boss is like, hey, we gave them iPads. They're gonna figure it out.
Well, yeah. And everything ends on Saturday. We don't get the final rankings until Tuesday. Like, they have no clue what they're doing. It's a lot of time to just debate.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
I will give them this. After this week, I would probably, if I was them, I'd probably come out Tuesday and be like, listen, we're just not even gonna do a ranking this week. Like, let's just get past this one and we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
That would be funny too.
Alabama's still getting in at 9-3, which is gonna be crazy.
Oh, you think so? Is that happening?
I just think they're gonna find a way. It'll be, well, Oklahoma's a pretty good team. Pretty hard to win there at night. I just love, like, that was. I know that's going to be spun as like a hard place to play, and Tennessee won there. It was not considered that the last couple of
right, but it's not a hard place to play in September.
Correct.
It is now.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah. Also, I mean, what about all the premature? I'm officially against field storming. If you can't do it right, you can't do it.
And there's so many. Like Auburn stormed last night.
That's their first top 25 win under Hugh Freeze. It was a 4 overtime game. It makes more sense than Oklahoma. Oklahoma, they had time to kind of soak it in,
Yeah.
Yeah. The Arizona State one kind of rocked because you just had someone check on that dude's wife. I mean, dude, those were some of the scariest eyes I've ever seen in my entire life.
Yeah.
And what my favorite part was about the Arizona State one, though, is that all those fans around it and the Arizona State coach got to watch what they were seeing.
Oh, yeah. They like showed it to him.
Yeah. They were all just standing around. I was like, all right, that kind of rocks. I kind of like that. Also,
puts a little pressure on the officials there.
Yeah. How is that not intentional grounding?
I don't know.
So it should have been an untimed down regardless. It should have been because that's a loss of downs. So it should have been an untimed down 5-yard penalty BYU ball regardless, right? Because that's intentional grounding. You can't just drop back and chuck it to your mom in the stands.
Right. You have to have somebody in the vicinity.
But that brings up a better question. Why doesn't he just sprint out? That wastes 2 or 3 seconds, then chuck it, then you're out of the tackle box. You can throw it wherever the hell you want, and that's the ball game. It was terrible clock management, and they get to win. They get a win. Barely. That would have been rocked. I didn't watch that live. I didn't watch that live, and I was catching up on it, and I was like, please win. Please win. Because I didn't see the score or nothing. I just saw what had happened, that they had stormed the field early and they had to bring them back out. And I was like, oh, please.
Did they storm after that? I feel like that just takes away the.
I think they continued storming, yeah. But
so after they got them off,
I mean, all the fans had to, or not all of them, but most of them had to still be on the field.
Yeah. They just had to back them off the sideline.
Because there's no way you could get them back in the stands that fast.
No.
And then they didn't get any penalties. No penalties on Arizona State at all. I think that has to be at minimum delay a game.
Right. I think it would be awesome if you had all those people still on like right behind the sidelines and they lose. I mean, that would have been. How do you recover from that?
That would have been mayhem.
Yeah.
It would have rocked. That's what we needed. What happened in the Oklahoma game? I went to bed before that happened. Did they just say, all right, it's over because it didn't matter at that point?
So they called illegal touching.
No. The field storming. They stormed early too.
Oh, yeah. I think they just I think they did have them.
Snap it one more time.
Yeah.
Just with everybody on the field. They're like, hey, let's just run the clock.
Yeah. Well, that was the thing. I love how Alabama fans were like, hey, yeah, Tennessee, it wasn't because the officials you lost, this and that. And they were complaining down 21 points that it was a crazy call.
It was an awful call. But also, it was an awful call.
I think it was a legal procedure, though.
Why?
I think it wasn't a legal touching, I don't think. It should have been illegal. Somebody was covered up.
No,
I think
he wasn't.
The tight end should have been
blocked.
on the other side, right?
No, he blocked.
Oh, he did?
Yeah.
Okay.
He didn't go out. He didn't go out for a pass. You don't have to have in college football. I don't believe you have to have more than
everybody
two
was on the line
on
of
each side of the
scrimmage,
ball.
I think, right?
No. So you had your outside receiver off the ball, clearly in the backfield. I checked because the first replay they showed, I was like, that's not a great angle. I can't tell. And then I paused it and I just compared the ball with the right tackle or the tight end's hip. And whoever was on the outside was definitely in the backfield. Ryan Williams was on the line of scrimmage. Your other wide receiver in the slot was clearly in the backfield. Your tight end was on the line of scrimmage, covered up, but he just blocked.
On both. So my thought is like you have to have a legal receiver on both sides of the ball.
Is that true in college football? And what was the number?
Because if you don't, you have to have that tackle report as eligible.
Right, but he has to have an eligible number.
Right, and he was not. So I think that's what the legal procedure should have been, or legal formation. Because there was not a legal... And it would have been a foul if they ran it, but they threw it, so it was illegal touching.
Well, if it was illegal formation, then it would have been called regardless. If it was, in fact, an illegal formation.
I think it was because they threw it, it became illegal touching.
Right. Well, once he touched it. But regardless, if they're saying he was covered up, it should have been thrown the moment he went beyond the line of scrimmage. Or the moment the ball was thrown beyond the line of scrimmage. It should have been thrown. Because I think he can go downfield if the ball is thrown behind the line of scrimmage. Yes, he can. So the moment he ran, they should have thrown the flag. It is illegal man downfield.
That's you said the tight end did not go out.
The tight end didn't, but they said Ryan Williams was covered up.
Right.
That's the illegal touching.
Yes.
The moment he ran downfield, they should have thrown the flag. The moment the ball was thrown downfield, they should have thrown it.
Correct.
And then they should have changed it to illegal touching once he attempted to make the catch. And he did make an incredible catch.
Yeah. So I think there was a foul on the play, I think is
depending on what that tackle was, the guy on that end. You're right. I didn't realize in college that was the rule because I know their formations aren't as strict as the NFL.
Right.
But also that's not a loss of downs, I don't believe, right? Is illegal formation loss of downs?
It should be like just back them up, right?
Yeah, I think so. So they would have gotten another play.
Yeah.
Regardless, it was like at the end of the day, if there was a penalty, and that's if there was a penalty, it was poorly enforced.
The moral of the story is officiating sucks.
That was pretty bad.
In the Auburn game, there was a bad one in it too, wasn't there?
The Auburn game, they didn't show the replay, so I didn't see it live in time. They called on a pick-like play. It wasn't even like an obvious pick play for sure, but I don't know the contact that was made. The announcers were very upset about it. But yeah, they called offense pass interference. It would have been 1st and goal from like the 4 or 5 yard line, ended up being 2nd and 25.
Yeah.
It was, yeah. So that definitely, I mean, I don't know if Auburn goes on to win it because you don't know how A&M's offense responds when they have to score a touchdown. But that potentially could have won it in the second overtime.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, bad call. Glad it happened to Bama. Not complaining.
Right. And again, it was 24-3.
Yeah.
Like you weren't winning that football game anyway. So
and by the way, Bama fans, I'm okay with you complaining about that call. As long as you don't think it changed the outcome of the game, I'm okay with you complaining about that call.
Yep.
That's where I need officials to explain why he called it how he did, why he threw it when he did. I'd like to hear their explanation.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm really wrong. I don't know.
Also, maybe try scoring like the other 3 quarters of the game.
Sure.
That'd be helpful.
Also, Jalen Milroe and Jackson Dart both made it on College Game Day's Heisman candidate list. They should be on no one's list now. 0 list. And Dylan Sampson should be in both of their slots. The fact that Dylan Sampson's not getting discussed at all, and I don't think he should win it, but the fact that he's not in the conversation, the fact that he's not going to get invited to New York is an embarrassment for the award. And it's even worse, Landon, that there are running backs who have won the award that should want other running backs to run to win the award that aren't out there standing on business for Dylan Sampson. It's crazy.
Yeah. Also, Jackson Arnold was outplayed Jalen Milroe by a country mile. And that was awesome to see. Also, what the hell was Oklahoma doing earlier in the year benching Jackson Arnold?
I mean, you did see him play against Tennessee, no?
Yeah, I've seen a lot of quarterbacks play against Tennessee, and it has been great.
Yeah, but there also have been some ones that aren't good that look great. So I get it. I get why they benched him against Tennessee. Now, beyond that, I don't really know, but
yeah, like he lost his starting job because of it.
Right. Which I don't get because what's his name didn't look all that great either. But
no, he wasn't good.
Jackson Dart throwing 3 interceptions in a row to lose the game was awesome. Also concussed? ? And I know people want to blame that last one on Juice Wells, but did he not look at his receiver?
It reminded me of that video you showed me of the girl on the tee box and she keeps hitting it in the crowd and they're like, "Oh, make her stop!
Someone make her stop!"
That's what Jackson Arnold was doing. He just kept hitting defenders in the chest.
And the fact that he got away with that second one, and it wasn't a catch, but the fact that he got away with the second one only to throw another one just really ties the bow on it. I mean, it just makes it so good.
Yeah, that was fun to see. That was fun to see Ole Miss just have because like everybody just forgot about that Kentucky loss for them, and then they just absolutely shit the bed.
Yep.
And a lot of people thought it could happen because guess what, Ole Miss? It's happened to us before. We understand.
And Lane Kiffin's overrated.
Exactly. So Sunbelt Billy, I mean, he's back.
Yep.
I mean, he might get an extension after this season now. He might be coach of the year.
Honestly, he might deserve it. Who? Shane Beamer, maybe?
It ain't Kalen DeBoer.
It is not Kalen DeBoer. They should give it to Brian Kelly to see if they could trick LSU into signing him on an extension.
They probably will give it to Sark because he hasn't killed anybody yet.
Probably. Or Eli Drinkowitz after the next game should be like, "I'm in running for coach of the year." Yeah, I said it.
Dude, that guy yelling at Mississippi State players, what is he doing? Can somebody just knock his teeth out?
Yeah, he's
somebody
also
just like destroy him.
Well,
day?
that's what's crazy to me is so Tony Vitello has this reputation of being brash and just rude and arrogant. He's not at basketball games. He's on the court and you don't have videos and clips of him talking trash to opponents. You have that of Eli Drinkowitz. And then you have it of him in the games he's coaching in, and no one, I shouldn't say no one, people are starting to notice. Last night, it was apparent that the rest of the country is also exhausted with his antics.
Yeah.
So that's good. Hey, if Alabama's in playoff contention, why not Missouri?
I'm sure he's still saying we're still in it. I don't know what they have on the committee to keep them in the top 25, but they're still in it. I think Kansas deserves the right to play a play-in game to the Big 12 championship. Just let them keep winning.
Kansas, I think it should be Kansas and Arizona State.
Yeah.
Because Arizona State beat Kansas State last week, BYU this week, and then Kansas just knocked off BYU and Colorado, right?
Yeah, we keep hearing how South Carolina is the hottest team in the country. Right now, it's Kansas.
Actually, I did not realize Arizona State only has 2 losses.
Yeah.
Or they're first in the Big 12. They don't need a play-in game. Scratch that. Ignore me. I did not realize they only had 2 losses. Now, it is Texas Tech and Cincinnati, but good for them. Good for the Sun Devils. And teams probably start just like rolling over for them when they see those coaches' odds. They're like, he might murder someone today.
Well, I think Colorado, like they need BYU and they need BYU to lose or Arizona State to lose this week to get into the college or get into the Big 12 championship. Yeah. Also, I think it is a great thing for Tennessee to potentially host a playoff game and not have to play in Atlanta. I think that is everything you'd ask for.
100%. 100%. It is going to be interesting to see the college football ranking and where A&M or not A&M. A&M, where they're going to be, because they should be, because you're talking about the loser shouldn't get to go to. So if they beat Texas, I guess that's where it'd be interesting to see where they're ranking, because I think that's where people are getting confused about this. A loser won't be kept out of the playoff. A loser won't be kept out of the playoff if they're currently in the playoff.
Correct.
That's what people like. That's not clicking in people's brains. If A&M played in the SEC championship this week, they would have to win and get in.
Mm-hmm.
But if Tennessee played in it this week and they're in the playoff currently, they would be in no matter what. Or Georgia would be in no matter what. Or Texas would be in no matter what. That's what people aren't getting.
Yeah, my thing is, do they put them in if they beat Texas? They
put them into the college football playoff?
Yeah, do you think
with 3 losses, I think they'd be right on the fringe of it.
Okay.
Yeah. It depends on how everything
it's a recency thing, so yeah.
Well, I mean, you have 3 losses on the year. Like, you've had your opportunities.
Right.
I would also like to say people were like, you don't get in at 10-2 this year. And I was like, no, I think you still do. I think you do. You do. And I was like, and you might get, there's a chance you get in at 9-3. There's a chance there's going to be a 9-3 team in this playoff, not conference championship winner.
Who would it be? It would have to be an SEC team, correct?
Not a conference championship winner?
Yeah.
Yes. Depending on, well, sorry, I guess, 9-3, not 9
it's got to be Bama.
Not 10-3. It's Alabama or whoever they lost respect for more this week, which I'm going to guarantee is Ole Miss.
I just know the AP poll had Bama at 13 and Ole Miss was at 15. I don't know if that has anything to do with the college football playoffs, but in that, they're going to favor Bama. That's why I think somehow they get in. Well, I guess South Carolina, if they go beat Clemson, could be.
That's again where it's not all recency bias. There is still that. And Alabama did beat South Carolina.
Yeah.
But if you're talking about who's playing better recently, because I mean that's where they go on. I mean, South Carolina.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I think we've decided LSU just sucks. Like, don't even look at that game. Don't even try to judge off of it. It unfortunately probably is Bama, and that's probably my fault, Landon, because I said there is a way that you could get in at 9-3.
And if they're going to put one team in at 9-3, who's it going to be?
But don't you have to say like that would be the right team to put in?
Yeah. I mean, I
don't know. The combination of Vanderbilt Oklahoma loss might be worse than Kentucky at home and Florida with a backup quarterback that's not being talked about. You can argue if he's better or not, but he is a second string quarterback right now.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think Alabama probably is the best. If they win next week, they probably are the best 9-3 team.
Could a Big 12 team at 9-2 get in over a 10-2 or 9-3 Bama?
I don't
10-2 Big 12 over 9-3 Bama.
I don't see how, because they haven't ranked them high enough yet. But I mean, I suppose. I don't think they would, because I know what the committee's probably thinking. But I mean, last week, the highest ranked Big 12 team was BYU at 14. Iowa State and Arizona State were at 21 and 22. Colorado was at 16, but they're going to fall back.
Yeah.
So I don't see how. I don't know. I love it. This is fun.
Yep. Chaos.
And yeah, if Bama gets in, I will take the blame for it. Just like all you fraudulent people who Gator chomped have to take the blame for anything bad that happens next week. I will take the blame if Bama gets in at 9-3.
Sure. All right, let's talk about these games real quick. Ohio State, Indiana, 38-15. Here's the thing, and you're gonna hate me doing this.
Ridiculous.
But Indiana had 89 total yards until that final drive late in the fourth quarter.
Sure.
I mean, that their quarterback, who has been in the Heisman race as well, had 68 passing yards.
Has he really? I don't think I've seen his name there. Who put him in?
Well, they do. On3 puts that list, and he's usually in the top 10.
Oh, okay. Top 10? No, I don't really care. Yeah. I think I could find myself like number 12 on betting odds.
But yeah, that was a poor performance. Just to kind of like, all you have to do is play good in this game. You didn't have to win just to say you belong. And I just don't think that was.
Turns out that's not all they had to do, because they got some help this week too. They're going to still be in.
Oh, for sure.
But good for them.
How do you put, with what just happened, how do you put a Tennessee behind an Indiana?
They won't be.
You don't think so?
No.
Okay. I've seen some that suggest otherwise.
Well,
like projection wise. I mean,
the AP poll, who notoriously is not a Tennessee fans,
put them.
I mean, Tennessee, huh?
They put them on 10.
And Tennessee, yeah. Like I don't see the committee doing it either.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't see them being over it.
And then you had Texas beating Kentucky. Kentucky started a freshman quarterback, and they're just on to basketball season. So we'll see what happened with Quinn Ewers, though. That could be an interesting.
You think so? I feel like they're
still going to be in.
The committee's credit, Texas had to play backup quarterback several times this year, and he's got plenty of starting experience.
Yeah, like I don't think that's not going to keep him out of the playoffs. I do think it would be interesting if this happens and it was still the 4 team with what they. I mean, right now they're kind of still fighting for that 4th spot right now, anyway.
Right, and then also you have the SEC. Yeah, 4 team would be a lot different for several reasons, but yeah, you're right.
Penn State 26, Minnesota 25. Man, I was hoping Penn State would lose that one.
They should have lost this one.
Yeah. Somebody was like, can you believe the Stones on James Franklin doing a fake punt up 1? I'm like, that was the only way he was going to win the game. He kind of had to. He's like, I mean, I don't trust my defense. My quarterback can't pick it up. Let's see if my punter can. So, Notre Dame 49, Army 14. That was, I mean, everybody knew that was going to happen. I do hate that. I understand, like you were talking about Army being 19, and that's what people have ranked them as, and that does count as a good win for Notre Dame. But at the same time, like, I mean, you had Hayes Fawcett put out a graphic of Notre Dame's win over the service academies.
I didn't see that.
It was like his outscored the service academies, this and this. I'm like,
does Notre Dame hate the United States military?
That's what it seems like.
Huh, that's weird.
That's what it seems like.
Yeah, I mean, as a Notre Dame hater, you know me, I'm a Notre Dame hater. I have to. The Army's beat who they had to play this year. They're 9-1. I'm not saying this is a monumental win. Like, put it on. They're number 2 in the country now, but it is a bigger win than the 2 teams in front of them have had.
That's true. That's true.
And they should be number 3 in the country this week.
That's true. But don't forget they lost to NIU at home.
Do not forget that. But Landon, I wouldn't have them at 6, so I wouldn't have to make that jump in my poll.
Yeah.
I don't follow these weird precedents that everyone sets.
True. Oklahoma 24, Alabama 3. I mean, Jalen Milroe 11 for 26, 164 yards, 3 interceptions.
Is that good?
Not great. Oklahoma got after him all night long. It was awesome.
Well, and it's interesting to see. You knew Oklahoma's defensive line and their linebackers were good. Jalen Milroe struggled to really run effectively against Tennessee. He struggled to run effectively against Oklahoma. You watch LSU and you watch some moments against Tennessee and you're like, okay, maybe they figured something out letting Jalen run the football. Yeah, against bad defenses, he can run it all over the place. Yeah, right. Sure.
Ole Miss 17, Florida 24 in the swamp. Yikes.
Jackson Dart did throw for 323 yards and 2 touchdowns. So,
and 3 picks on last drive.
How many did he have in the game? 4?
He had 2.
Or 2? Oh, yeah, 2 in the game?
Yeah.
I thought he had 1 before all that happened. Okay. But I forgot the second of those 3 didn't count. We'll remember it, but it didn't count for the stats.
Correct. Georgia with a weird game against UMass, 59-21.
Yeah, they started off slow.
Yep. It was 28-14 at halftime. That was a weird game. Boise State hangs on against Wyoming, 17-13.
Ashton Jeanty only touched the ball 19 times. I think he was maybe banged up a little bit during this game. I think I saw him go out for a second.
I mean,
19 carries.
2 and 9.
Rushed for 169 yards.
Yeah. SMU 33, Virginia 7. SMU going to the ACC championship.
And they are okay. Yeah, they're number 9 now.
Okay. BYU 23, Arizona State 28.
That was awesome. That was just an awesome game at the end. I don't know what happened before that, but the end was awesome. seeing Arizona State's coach. Is it what is his name? Is that Kenny Dillingham?
Kenny.
Yeah, okay, so Florida State. I was like, Chaparral High School. That's where Taylor Lewan went, I think. But
also,
yeah, he's a psycho.
They also have a white running back who is awesome.
Careful.
Cam Scatabo.
Scatabo. That's not a real name. That's like JP Pickles.
Auburn 43, Texas A&M 41, 4 overtimes.
The new overtime is so dumb.
It's horrible.
Also, I was trying to explain it to someone last night. I was like, you just gotta watch. Like, it's dumb. Think about it like a PK shootout. I will say this. I don't mind it for a regular season game.
Yeah.
Similar to soccer, I don't mind deciding a winner by PKs in soccer, in regular season. I think it's a dumb way to end a championship. And I think in the playoffs, it should go back to, at minimum, the old rules.
Yeah.
I actually think it should go to the NFL rules. I think that is the best way to do it. But at minimum, the old rules.
Agreed. Yeah, that's just not. Just keep the game going.
Yeah,
people love it.
And if you want to lessen the downs, just start them from the 10 first and goal.
Yeah.
It is kind of, again,
there's a better heavy package.
Right. It is, in regular season, it is kind of fun. Like, all right, we're going 1 for 1 now. Like, let's go.
Mm-hmm.
What I would like to see to really enhance the effect, offensive ones over here, defensive ones over here. We're going back and forth. Ref's got to sprint the field. Travis Hunter for Colorado's got to run back and forth each time. Like, I want to really enhance the experience. You know what? Just have 2 referee crews come out for overtime. And we're just bang, 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 bang.
It is kind of cool for Travis Hunter to, get a stop on defense, immediately just like go to the other side of line of scrimmage and line up as a receiver. That's pretty sick.
That would be pretty sick if he did intercept it, set it down, and just immediately lined up. It's like he doesn't even know where he's going yet, but he's gonna go ahead and
he's
like, hey, put that on the hash mark. I'm staying here.
Mm-hmm. Kansas took down Colorado 37-21, and very interesting season from Kansas. Lost 5 straight games to Illinois, UNLV, West Virginia, TCU, and Arizona State. Beat Houston, lost a close one to Kansas State, 29-27, and then they have beaten 3 top 25 teams. They beat Iowa State 45-36, BYU 17-13, and then Colorado 37-21. Kansas is the hottest team in the country.
Put them in like you said, they should get a shot.
They have destroyed every team that has had college football playoff aspirations. Iowa State, BYU, and Colorado.
They have a DB named Kobe Bryant.
Pretty sick. We did have some more questions here. We can go ahead and. Do you have any more games?
Two more. Real quick? Well, one more game, but what'd you think about that hit on Shedeur? Like, it's a penalty, but why is everyone acting like the dude was trying to injure him? I think the dude just made a bad football play and he should have been penalized for unnecessary roughness. Late hit on the quarterback, something. Yeah. Have you seen it in real time?
I've only seen it slow down. Slow down looks bad. I mean, it just looks like a late hit. He doesn't he doesn't nosedive at his knee.
Well,
he does go for his legs.
They are it is at the knee area, but also, and it blows my mind, there are people who played the game of football that they see someone go for knees. They are like, yeah, that's dirty. They're trying to take out their knees. If you played football, you don't have enough time to even think about going for someone's knees there. Like, you're just going low on the guy.
Yeah,
trying to make a tackle.
It's no worse than, I feel like people just flying in there with head first and hit a quarterback right in the helmet. That's a lot worse than what that guy did.
Yeah, you can get lower. And I don't think it was a good hit. I think it should have been penalized. I also don't think it was inherently dirty. I don't think the guy was trying to injure Shedeur.
Also, Shadur can't just shove an official either and not get a flag.
That's crazy. That was a makeup call.
Yeah.
Last game I want to mention, our boy Gregory Schiano coached himself out of a game, sort of. It was also just an abhorrent appearance by his defense. But did you see how that game ended?
Mm-mm.
Illinois lines up to kick it's a long field goal. What would it have been? It would have been a 57-yarder. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
They line up to kick it. Greg Schiano ices the kicker. So then they bring out the offense, score a 40-yard touchdown to win the game.
Damn. How was the 40-yard touchdown? Was it just a heave, or was it?
No, it was I don't remember where it was caught, but in the middle of the field, guy had to run a little bit in, but not. I don't think it was a whole way. Like it wasn't. It was probably 50-50.
Hmm.
I have to watch that play again. Now that you say that, because I'm not 100% sure. I do know that he called a timeout to ice a college kicker on a 57-yard field goal, which is crazy. Also, I'm trying to figure this out. It says that they must have. It says they went for 2, but time expired. I don't know why that's on the ESPN app. That's interesting to me. Surely that's not right.
Hmm.
Yeah. All right. That's all I have for games.
What was the biggest surprise in college football yesterday?
It has to be Oklahoma because of the way it happened, right? No, Kansas over Colorado. Colorado was looking hot. I don't know.
Yeah, I think just because of Colorado I know was on the verge of probably getting the playoff, but they still had to win their conference. I think it has to be Oklahoma, just the way it happened.
The Oklahoma probably because of the way it happened. But I mean, I guess in Kansas is rolling too, but still. They've looked bad this year, and I mean, they beat them by 16 still. I don't know. It's one of those two, and I'm not 100% sure which one. But it's definitely one of those two.
So is Travis Hunter the Heisman?
I think it's Ashton Genty.
I just think it's crazy that a guy with 3 losses, we're going to give him the Heisman, but that's just me.
Especially because he's playing both sides of the football. He's being touted like he should be impacted. You can't go, well, his offense is really bad or his defense is terrible. Like,
right, yeah. he's
pretty impactful both sides of the football.
Right.
Yeah. I don't know.
Which teams predicted do you make the college football playoff? Do you think are outright better than us? This is from All of All Everything.
I don't know how to answer that because I think there's weeks where teams that we've beaten like Alabama are outright better than us. I think there's teams that have destroyed us that have oftentimes not looked outright better than us, like Georgia. I think that's kind of the beauty of it. Is I think Tennessee could be in every game, but they also have the opportunity to be out of every game.
Right.
I don't think Tennessee, as I've seen, as I know of them right now, has a legit. Like I wouldn't put money on them. I don't think they have a legitimate chance, quote unquote, to win the playoff. I guess legitimate chance is the right way to say that. I don't know.
Yeah,
but I also think it's one of those where this is a year that there's just not a dominant football team. So I feel like you have a chance against everybody.
Yeah. Yeah, there's not any team that I'm just like, man, I really don't want to play them. Now, maybe it's different if it's a true away game, but on a neutral site field, there's not anybody I'm just like, man, I hope we don't have to play them. I think right now, I mean, the way Oregon and Ohio State look, like those teams look really good. Obviously, you have to have Georgia in that conversation. other than those three teams, I mean, I think Texas would probably be favored against Tennessee. I don't know if Penn State is
I don't know if Penn State would be.
on a neutral field for sure.
And I would say the teams that I would see having a legitimate shot to win it are Ohio State, Oregon, and Georgia.
Yeah.
That's who I would say has a legitimate shot right now.
Mhm.
I might float Texas in that, but I don't believe in them. I wouldn't put money on them, especially because the odds aren't going to be good.
Yeah.
By the way, the Illinois pass was like a little curl route, 20 yards, and then he took it 20 yards, just ran past everyone. Yeah. No bueno.
But yeah, I'm not scared of any of the ACC teams. I mean, like, there's going to be good teams in this, but there's also like Tennessee was going to be the first one out. They weren't. If they got in, they're not going to be the worst team in this playoff,
Right.
by far. Like, I think Tennessee would be favored against Indiana, Boise State. They'd be favored against. I don't know about Miami, maybe.
I did not know this. Not only did Gregory Shawno call a timeout to ice the kicker, he kicked it and missed it. And they came down and said, no, timeout came in before the snap. 57 yards, Landon. It's a 57-yard field goal. All right, sorry. I'll stop on this. I didn't know all the facts. I should have known my facts.
But yeah, I think like what you said, there's not a clear dominant best team in college football. And with the playoff, there's more games. So there's a lot more stuff that can happen. Now, do I think Tennessee is the most consistent team to like run the table? Absolutely not. But is anybody?
Yeah. That's another thing. I said I think Ohio State, I mean, they just have a ton of talent, but I also think Ryan Day can very easily be outcoached.
Yeah.
In fact, two of his big punt returns, there were very obvious calls missed blocking the back. Did you see the one that I quote tweeted?
I don't think so.
I mean, two blocking the backs that were just egregiously there in the open. They weren't in a mayhem of people. Both right around the football. I don't know how they go uncalled. It blows my mind. Yeah. So not saying that's why they won, but they did get a little help, just like Oklahoma did. It's always good to get a little help.
Need it. Somebody doesn't need help is Tennessee basketball. The only thing they might need help getting that hardware off the plane from the Bahamas.
They got a big trophy or something from.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe not. I don't know how big it was.
Who knows? I mean, did you see the Battle of Bristol one? You never know.
Yeah. That was unnecessary, but hey, whatever. I guess you'd rather win it than not. Tennessee takes it to the Bahamas.
Chaz Lanier.
Chaz Lanier.
We need to play all of our games apparently in small ballrooms. So we got what's the
he thought it right at home at North Florida.
Yeah. Yeah. That small gym.
He's like, 10 people in the stands. I'm good. But yeah, Virginia, not a good basketball team at all. That was a rough kind of first half, but you found a way that you're still winning at halftime, and then you just Chaz Lanier opened it up. And something I've kind of noticed with this team is they get up and down the floor a lot better than the past few years with Tennessee.
Yeah, I mean, they've got 5 guys that'll run.
I think they had, well, this game's a little different because Virginia does not get up the floor to, they don't really have a ton of turnovers. When they do, it's usually around the basket where you're not able to just drive the lane. Tennessee had 5 fast break points against Virginia, and Virginia didn't have any. And then Baylor, Tennessee had.
Gosh, yeah, I haven't seen this stat, but it had to be a bunch.
Dang, Tennessee only had 2.
What? Fast break points?
Didn't
Chaz Lanier hit a 3 I guess that was.
I don't know.
It was in transition.
Yeah. That's what it seemed like.
Didn't he hit one of those Dalton Connect
Yeah, he just came with
corner
the
transition threes?
Yeah.
Not corner, but elbow.
Mm-hmm.
I guess it's not a fast break, but I mean, that's a transition score for sure.
Right. It just seems like this team gets to the basket a lot better.
They do get to that. That is.
They have
Actually.
guys that can just beat guys off the dribble. I thought Jordan Gainey's done a fantastic job so far this season of, he doesn't have to just – last year it just seemed like he was trying to force it. This year's like, hey, man, you're a good free throw shooter. If you can get to the bucket, go. And I don't know if it was just – I love Santi and Josiah, but I think it was – I'm trying not to make this sound bad, but I feel like they did kind of handcuff us a little bit, being as athletic as somebody like Zakai and others were. You just don't have guys that can they couldn't penetrate the basketball.
Yeah, no, I mean, just, and I think some of it is just the willingness and the confidence to do it too. I mean, you see it like Meshack this year. The guys around him are doing it, and now he's got that confidence and he's got the willingness to. He's not going to be your main guy that's going to be trying to get to the rim, but he'll do it.
Yeah,
Igor, I did not expect him to be as athletically impressive as he is. His ability to put the ball on the floor, head down, go to the basket is impressive. It's fun.
Yeah, and last year, it was like, hey, Dalton or Zakai, y'all do something, and if you want to pass it to us and reset, we'll get it right back to you. There was just a lot of standing around last year, whereas, especially these two games in the Bahamas, there's not standing around. It's attacking the basket. So that's been fun to watch. And like you said, Jemai is all over the court, and that defense is always going to travel with Rick Barnes. So you get some guys going to the basket, guys shooting it like Chad. Well, if anybody shoots it like Chaz Lanier did, especially in that Baylor game, Tennessee is going to be just fine.
Yeah.
Because that was like, hey, I'm going to fill up. Give me a 20-piece right here, and then see if you can catch us in the second half. And the answer was hell no.
Well, they were very tired from the night before, so
that's true. Which also that St. John's team lost to Georgia by 3 today.
Love to see it.
So, yeah, Tennessee takes it to the Bahamas. Anybody else? I know we kind of mentioned Chaz Lanier and others. Cade Phillips is another guy who's been fun to watch, especially in that Baylor game.
I think he's going to be very impactful this season. I think he looks solid. He's going to you don't want him playing too many minutes, but I think he's going to give you some quality minutes here and there throughout the season. I think Okpara continues to look better every game. Feel like I based on the first time we saw him, and now I like where he's at.
Yeah. And Dubar, I think he's for a guy that we're I know he was out for a little bit due to personal reasons, and usually when you get something like that, you're like, I mean, you ever going to see that guy again? But he's came in and been a nice addition off the bench. A bigger body than what I thought he was. I thought he was more like a guard, but he's more of like a forward type.
He's got a very much like Josiah build to him, big broad shoulders, just a big player.
Yeah. I thought that in that Baylor game, the bench points were 30-7. Tennessee won that. That was fun to watch. Cade Phillips had 11, Gainey had 16, and then Dubar had 3 off the bench and 4 rebounds in 12 minutes.
I like Jordan Gainey's game this year. He was solid defensively. He feels like a Meshack type defensively this year. Hands are just working. Feels like he gets his hands on the ball a lot.
I think Chaz Lanier has done a really good job as well on defense. Like he's not a guy that you're just out there for him to score points. Like Dalton, I felt like you had like it came in spurts. Like you obviously saw the athletic ability and that helped him on defense, but he got better as the year went along. Chaz Lanier has been a pleasant surprise for me because all you hear is he's a scorer, and you wonder how that's going to translate, especially on a Rick Barnes' defense. And I think he's done really well in that department.
Oh, for sure. Agreed.
And if you would have told me Tennessee, their All-American point guard, Zakai Ziegler, has 9 points in the Bahamas, I was like, oh, okay, well, we lost 2 games. But he's kind of able just to facilitate, and I mean, he still plays a ton of minutes, but you're not really relying on him to score because you do have a lot of options.
Yeah, and he's still, I mean, I don't know what he registered. I didn't look at his minutes the last 2 games, but I think they're going to be able to, he's not going to have to go 40. He's not going to have to be an Ironman this year.
Yeah, he averaged 37. And
so still going strong.
Yeah, 36 against Virginia and 38 against Baylor.
Yeah, this team's athletic, though. I'm very impressed and very excited about their athleticism, and we'll see. There's still a lot to find out about this team. And then there's some good tests with some very winnable games though coming up in December before SEC play. So yeah, no, I'm pumped for this basketball season. I know it started, but it doesn't quite feel like it started. So
yeah, and you also are doing it kind of shorthanded. Cam Carr's out for a couple weeks. JP Estrella's been injured, so don't even have a full roster able to kind of take care of business against 2 good teams.
Right.
Well, good teams. Baylor's a good team. I don't know if Virginia is. Virginia's pretty bad. But they also play like the most boring brand of basketball ever. But Tennessee only given up, how many did they give up to Baylor? 62, so gave up 104 points. Pretty good. Defense will travel. Just keep scoring. That's another thing. And I'm going to knock on wood, but you haven't had a ton of just like terrible scoring droughts. I guess Virginia was kind of bad, but it's also just like Virginia just took all the pace out of the game.
Yeah.
I don't know. You got UT Martin on Wednesday, then you get Syracuse, Miami, and Illinois. So, yeah, 3
December's going to be fun.
Decent opponents in there. Yeah, for sure. All right. Also, was that tournament? Is that like an all? Do they always have this tournament in the Bahamas? I feel like it was weird just having 4 teams.
I don't know what tournament this is, and we talked about it on Thursday night. It must be. I guess it's because of the Thanksgiving being the last week of November. Oftentimes, it's the second. It's always the last full week, or I guess depending on how you define full week. It's always the last Thursday of November, but oftentimes November runs into the next week. So,
yeah. I just noticed that Chaz Lanier scored all of his 25 points in the first half against Baylor.
Interesting. Did not realize while watching that's the case.
I mean, he's a guy that, even if he's missing, he ain't scared to shoot it. I think you want that killer instinct. I think Jordan Gainey tried to have that last year. It did not work out too well, but you like a guy who has the confidence to shoot it like that.
I did. Yes, you're right. I did misspeak. It's the 4th Thursday of Thanksgiving. Oftentimes it's the last week. Sorry.
Okay.
More often than not, it's not though.
All right. I think we got all the questions in here. What Most important?
Yeah, let's do some most important. See what I can think. I think more than anything else, I've got some pretty epic fails more than anything else. Let's see.
My first one is the Raptors throwback court.
I didn't see this.
It's it has the old like Raptor logo.
Oh, that is cool.
Dude, I mean, that's one of the best logos of all time.
Right. Reminds me of like Rugrats.
Yeah. And then Peyton singing David Allen Coe. Did I take it?
I was about to ask. I was going to do this. Can you name that singer? I went, pick her up in the rain.
I tried to find the video of me and put it next to Peyton.
I bet I could.
But I don't have the video.
I bet I've got it. I have to. You know that here's my what I've found the easiest way to look for stuff, and this may not be is maybe because my phone's so disorganized. Maps.
Oh, maps.
If you know where it was taken,
too, right?
Huh?
You know you can type stuff in there too,
and search for stuff that way.
Yeah. So you can like type in like Josh Heupel.
Yeah, I mean it's just got to be like certain like it's not good for all of them obviously, and then like that's the only thing about that video is just because I filmed it in Nashville, I might have saved it elsewhere, so that's the only issue. Yeah, I didn't find it in the map there, but that's been pretty. There's your life tip for the day. Do it that way.
Yeah, there you go.
It's been pretty successful for me.
But yeah, Peyton singing, that's awesome.
I also know. I just realized I know exactly where our boy Austin White lives now. Where he sent us a picture of the More Important Issue shirt. Coming for you. Don't cross me. That's kind of scary. Don't send pictures to people you don't know from your house.
Unsolicited is not great.
Definitely do not send unsolicited anything to anyone ever. Yeah. Okay. Well.
Any more most important?
Let me go back to that. I was looking for your video.
Oh,
I gotta have that somewhere.
I got James Madison getting welcomed to Boone with a snowball fight. Did you see the App State fans? I mean, they're coming out of the tunnel and they're just getting pelted with snowballs.
That kind of rocks. I wouldn't be mad.
Yeah.
I feel like there's probably more stuff in there than just snow, so that kind of sucks, but I don't think you can be mad exactly about it. Maybe you can. I don't know.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool video. You got any?
I'm gonna be honest. I'm still looking for this video. I'm like, I've got to have it. I'm pretty sure I have it, and yet here I am, nowhere to be found. I have a video from the last time we were in Nashville for the Vanderbilt game.
Oh God.
Yeah.
I'm gonna move on to some fails.
That was actually 6 days ago yesterday. Or 6 days ago, 6 years ago yesterday.
Oh God.
6 years ago today, because 6 years ago yesterday, me and Dylan almost got in a fist fight over Uno the night before.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
I'm not proud of it.
Who was right?
I
don't remember like the reasoning behind it. I just know y'all definitely got.
So Dylan was. Hold on, I think Dylan was right, but I'm trying to remember what the argument was because draw 4, you skip your turn, and in the rules, like if you open up the Mattel rule book, it just says draw 2 is what draw 2 means. But then I think we found somewhere where it said, yeah, draw 2, you do lose your turn.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah. So I think Dylan was right.
My fail is Kentucky football. It's been around since 1981. This week's game at Austin, Texas is the furthest west they've ever traveled for a game.
That's crazy. That was one of the crazier things I heard this week. Never played in a Rose Bowl.
It's like, what? Texas? That's like, I mean, that's you haven't gone anywhere.
To be fair, when you look at the maps of college football, it kind of makes sense, but it's still wild that in their entire history.
Yeah, 143 years.
That's not much history.
Yep. Also had Eli Drinkowitz, just
clown.
Shut up, or I'm gonna shut the F up, or I'm gonna score.
Some Missouri fan was like, "That's not what he's saying." He was yelling at his players to shut up, and I was like, "Then why did he say Mississippi State?" Like that was like the first thing he said. Because there is another video of him later telling one of his players to shut up, but that's not the video.
It would just be better if he would just shut up.
Sure. Oh, my most important, and this is a most important NFL. Danny Cannell. You do have to get the fail, and it's not because of me. I'm not saying it. Chipper Jones went after Danny. Did you see it?
No.
So Chip, which I thought this was kind of a funny tweet, but I guess Chipper was had enough of Danny Cannell. He said, "Congrats, Florida. You are the Kansas Jayhawks of the SEC." I think he just means like upsetting everybody, right? That's how I took it.
Yeah.
Chipper said, "Hey, Danny, I say this with all due respect," which whatever comes after that has zero respect in it. "For your mediocre career and even less mediocre career after throwing senseless picks at FSU, STFU. We know you hate the SEC. We get it. No need to pee in our cornflakes because you're on your period. Congrats on Charleston Southern." I don't know why. I don't know exactly why Chipper Jones was so upset with that comment. But I think
I love it.
I mean, Danny Cannell can get yelled at any day of the week. It won't bother me. It felt like an accurate comparison, though. No.
Yeah.
So I don't know exactly what set Chipper off on that one, but it kind of rocked.
Yeah. Yeah. Anytime Danny Cannell is just taking bullets, I'm in.
Sure.
That dude sucks. I have a Alabama linebacker. I don't know if this is true, but I'm going to read it because I saw it on the internet, and so we're just going to go with it. Reportedly, Alabama linebacker and former 5-star Keanu Cott was suspended from the team following a comment made on social media regarding Coach DeBoer's oldest daughter. Cott reportedly direct messaged her on Instagram and asked if she wanted this horse, followed by a picture.
A picture? Oh, I didn't see that. I think that's the same guy who just got arrested for reckless driving because he was going 100 miles an hour. Is that the same guy?
I don't know. He was not with the team anymore. So
yeah, I think that's what happened.
Oh, okay.
But I like that story. I like that series of events better, personally.
Wanted this horse.
Even I think this is worse, personally. Did you see the video of Ron Williams and Baby Gronk?
No. Is it bad?
It's very weird, and it looks like it's in a hotel room, which is very weird.
Oh no!
Like how you can see
so I guess it's not illegal, but it's weird.
You know how you can like see I don't know. Maybe it's just an apartment, like one of those apartments that the bathroom's kind of set up like a hotel. You know, how the bathroom like sink isn't in the bathroom all the time at hotels.
Yeah,
that's kind of what it looks like. Like it looks like it's just off the bedroom. It's very weird. Hold on, let me send this to you. Let me tell you, or you tell me where it doesn't look like an Alabama football player's apartment, which would probably be weirder if Baby Gronk was in Ron Williams' apartment. But
yeah, you just put him up at the Marriott or something.
Yeah, I also don't know where.
Also, is Alabama going to learn, like, just because guys are like famous on TikTok and stuff doesn't mean we have to bring those people around. Like, you have Roll Tide Willie humping Al. And now you're having your star wide receiver in a hotel room with baby Gronk. What are we doing? No wonder why you're not going to the playoffs. Good God.
I just sent it to you on Twitter.
Oh God.
That's in a hotel room. That's definitely in a hotel room. You can tell by the countertop. You can tell by the mirror. You can kind of tell by the door. A cheap hotel room at that. That is very weird. Ugh. Stop, we got to get these people under control.
Also, a little kid say I'm here to lock you up in a hotel room is not okay.
At least it wasn't the other way around.
I guess, but
Someone did tweet at 1:45 p.m. yesterday, Oklahoma by 24 plus. So
pretty close.
Close. Yeah, that's kind of weird. We really probably do need to call DCS on baby Gronks.
I did like in the video, he said, "Man, I'm Ryan Williams. I'm 17 years old." I guess he just had to specify.
He's like, I'm clearing this out. I am
Yeah.
not an adult. This
Yeah.
is not an adult's actions. Yeah. Yeah, like that.
Good Lord. Ugh.
Oh, it's definitely he posted a picture with him. It's 100% in a weird old hotel room. Like, what is going on?
Yeah, hey baby Gronk, you want to come up and do a couple videos and we'll go get continental breakfast together?
Yeah, why are they in a hotel room together? That's weird. You can't hang out in the lobby? You can't hang out in the continental breakfast?
I mean, just imagine like a support staffer showing that to Nick Saban. What do you think happens?
Baby Gronk would. We'll just say he'd be in witness protection. He wouldn't. Baby Gronk wouldn't exist as we know him.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's. Baby Gronk's dad. Do better. I want to know his real name so I can stop referring to him as Baby Gronk. All right. Anything else?
Yeah. Did you see the former Florida defensive end that I forget what his name is now he transferred to Ole Miss, and some people were trolling him after the game, and he ran literally up a ramp to try to fight these people with like full pads and like 4 state troopers running after him.
Yeah. That's
and
crazy.
I'm sure there's nothing done, which is crazy because anytime somebody gets pulled over by a state trooper, you're getting a ticket.
Yeah, that's a bad look, and I don't know exactly why he was out of the stadium in full pads.
Yeah.
And I don't know what was said before that, because you know me, I'm in the boat of like, yeah, hey, if the guys want to talk, let the players play, like let's just see what happens. But I don't know what was said in the video that we saw was sounded like just trash talk, them saying scoreboard to him. We don't know what was said prior. But why is he out of the stadium, and how did he get so far, like you said?
Yeah, there was no one watching this guy. I mean,
he left the game early. He left the stadium before it ended.
It wasn't like he was number like 56. He's number 1. He's not hiding from anybody.
He had no faith in Jackson Dart.
Yeah,
he was out.
I mean, that's like LSU just letting a live tiger just go through the stands. It's wild. But all right, anything else?
No, that's it.
Awesome, guys. A lot of fun. It is getting close to the Christmas season, so go ahead and get that shopping done. Not a better place to get all that shopping done than Roback. I got the t-shirt on right now. It's one of my favorite t-shirts. Go check out roback.com. Use promo code More Important Issues for 20% off your first purchase. They just have the best quality. I've been wearing the hoodie a lot. It's my favorite hoodie So you should go get your favorite hoodie today at rowback.com. Again, use promo code More Important Issues for 20% off your first purchase. Thank y'all again. We'll be back. We might have something special going on this week. We'll see. Yeah. Just stay tuned. We're bringing the boat in, and we out.